Hey guys, back with you with um, chapter 3 of Esther. That's what we're going to be diving into today. And so we're switching from Esther becoming queen, which was the first two chapters. Now we're transferring into chapters 3 through 4, which are about the threat against the Jews. That's the main aspect talked about in those two chapters, is the threat against the Jews. So yeah, we now know a little bit about a couple of the characters in this book, which is King Ahasuerus, which I keep struggling with. I don't know why. King Ahasuerus, him being a powerful king, my leader likes to party, so looking for a queen. The first one he calls forth denies him, so he searches out for a new one of all the single women, as we know, and then he had them come to his palace, and then each one he would meet, and then the one that he finally met and knew was the one was Haggai. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say Haggai. That's my bad. I would delete the video, but I don't really want to, so we're just going to go with it. I didn't mean Haggai. I meant Esther, because that's what this book is about. So, the new queen is Esther, his wife. And so that's where we left off. Was him throwing another feast for Esther, because she's the new queen. I'm just going to give you a little background that talks about chapter 3 right here. Just a quick little summary of what we're going to be diving into, and then read it, come back to you, say a little more. So it says in my study Bible, in chapter 3, we're introduced to Ahasuerus' general, Haman, who had a massive ego, and his pride would eventually result in his death. Spoiler. Haman didn't like Mordecai because he was a Jew and didn't worship Haman when he walked by. So he put together a plan to exterminate all Jews. So that's just a little bit about who we're going to be learning about in this next chapter. So now I plan to go read that chapter, take a few takeaways from it, and then come back and just give you just my thoughts on it and what I kind of learned, and hopefully you take a little bit and you learn something new too, whoever's watching out there. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in a minute. Peace. Sorry guys, I was just reading and I forgot. I kind of said in the video already that we left off with him having a party and celebrating for the new queen Esther, but that's not what I forgot about. The Mordecai discovers the plot, because Mordecai cares about Esther, the father figure in her life. But we left off where Mordecai tells Esther to tell the king that these men are plotting against him and that they're going to kill him. So then he hangs them. So that's where we left off. Just so we can go now into chapter 3, where it talks about Haman plots against the Jews, and just dive into that. I just wanted to give a quick reminder of that, just to keep in mind up here. Yeah. Okay, guys. Wow. Crazy stuff happened in this chapter. A lot to go over, a lot to dive into. So hopefully I can do it to my best ability, and that you guys understand. And I'm not too all over the place, because I don't really have a plan, so I'm just going to go off what I just learned and what I wrote down and stuff. So, as we know, this chapter is about Haman, who is now put above all the officials by the king Ahasuerus, and anyone who has passed by him at the gate would be bowing down to Haman when they pass him, just because he was at the top of all officials of the king's people. But the only person that wouldn't bow to him was Mordecai. As we know, Mordecai was a Jew, and so once Haman realized that he was never bowing down to him, and he heard of this, and he became very angry, And that's when Haman decided that he wanted to kill all the Jews just because this one guy, Mordecai, went and bowed down to him. So Haman takes into his own hands and tells the king that there are people in his land that don't follow his rules, or that are different, and they're just different people in the lands, and kind of like making them sound like outcasts, and just that they're going against the king. So he tells the king about that, and tells him that he wants to kill them all, and that he needs let me read this to you. He says, I'm just going to read it to you. It says, then Haman said to King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the peoples in all the provinces of your kingdom. Their laws are different from those of every other people, and they do not keep the king's laws, so that it is not to the king's profit to tolerate them. And he says, if it please the king, let it be decreed that they be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver into the hands of those who have charge of the king's business, that they may put it into the king's treasuries. So then the king listens to him. He gives him his signet ring from his hand, and gave it to Haman, and to destroy the enemy of the Jews. So he gives him the money that he needs in order to complete this. The king gives Haman the money in order to complete this. And then Haman goes and makes a decree and makes a document in the name of the king, and gets his signature on this document, and then he sends it out to all the provinces, all the peoples and the lands all over the place, saying that whenever they see a Jew, child, mother, it doesn't matter, that they need to kill him. So he's got the king on his side, Haman, because he's a trusted person above all his officials, so he's listening to him. So the king just keeps agreeing and giving these rights to do and kill these Jews without actually knowing who he's killing. So yeah, I'm just gonna read the last verse of this chapter. It's 14. A copy of the document was to be issued as a decree in every province by proclamation to all the peoples, to be ready for that day. The couriers went on hurriedly by order of the king, and the decree was issued in Susa, the citadel. It says, and the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city of Susa was thrown into confusion. So we just see that at the end of this chapter, Haman's got everything that he wanted. That one man that didn't bow down to him, Mordecai, was a Jew, so he thought to kill all the Jews just because of that moment. So he was just very power-seeking, and just wanting all the attention, and just because one guy didn't bow down to him, then he wanted to kill them all. And that just shows you how cruel people are and how cruel they can be, and how sometimes people can be just so prideful and just so about themselves that they push everyone else aside, don't think about them, and just lash out. And sometimes it results in trying to kill a whole population of people, the Jews, just because of this one thing. And it just shows you that we shouldn't strive to be like Haman. We shouldn't strive to seek everyone just being nice to us all the time, or just treating us good, because sometimes you're going to be treated badly, and you just got to just shove it off and just trust in God, and just keep spreading his word and keep believing in him, even if sometimes stuff gets thrown at you. And something as little as this happens to one man, and he just falls apart. And so it just shows you that we need to be humble. We need to trust in the Lord, and we need not be deceitful and not be angry, and we just need to trust in the Lord. That's really what we need to be doing, and not getting all about ourselves, We want to think about others. So yeah, that's a lot we learned in these 3 chapters. I've learned a lot. I hope anyone listening has, and hopefully I'm making some sort of sense. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just going with the flow, So thanks for tuning in. If you did, peace out.